Hi, today is November 15th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1771 for the year, Windmill. I seen a windmill in Ohio last weekend, but I couldn't get a good picture of it. Fortunately, I seen a windmill in New Zealand and got a decent picture of it, so I can look at the picture of the New Zealand windmill, and it can remind me of both the New Zealand windmill and the Ohio windmill. I don't know why I would want to do that, but I can if I want to. Poem number 1772, Produce. He grows tomatoes under the bus that never runs a root. He distributes tomatoes to all of us, and many other kinds of vegetables and fruit. Where the other produce comes from, we don't know, but we all think it's best not to ask any questions. We don't know what to do, and he intimidates us, so we'd be open to and grateful for any suggestions. Poem number 1773, Instructions followed. She said, knock 'em dead, and I did, because I thought that was what she wanted, and because I thought they all deserved to die. And now their bodies are corpses all strewn about, and my baseball bat is covered with blood, and the police are on their way. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have listened to her. Poem number 1774, The Jelly. He stared at the walls until he was consumed, until he was subsumed, until he had been thoroughly groomed. She stared at the floor until she had no shame, until she understood the game, until someone else took all the blame. They stared at the ceiling until all was revealed, until nothing more was concealed, until the gelatinous mass congealed. Then the jelly fell from the ceiling to the floor, and was smeared on the walls and the windows and the door, until there wasn't any jelly any more. Poem number 1775, As Far as It Could Go. She had taken it about as far as it could go. Then she took it that last little piece, at which point she had taken it as far as it could go. Once it couldn't go any farther, she got out of it, if it was a car, and walked the rest of the way. Once it had nothing left inside of it, she went to the store, if it was a jar of peanut butter, and she bought another jar. Once it had reached its limits of plausibility, she dropped it, as if it was a... Once it had reached its limit of plausibility, she dropped it, if it was a line of reasoning, and took another approach entirely. Whether or not its true identity would ever be known, there was absolutely no question that she had taken it as far as it could go. Poem number 1776, There Was the Way. There was the way the leaves returned to their former colors, and they jumped up and reattached themselves to the branches. There was the way the vomit leapt back into the mouth, and then the beer went back into the pitcher, and the stomach settled. There was the way the effects of the election were reversed, and the people voted again, and this time they made the right choice. There was the way, when things went backward, that the result was generally an improvement, but this was not always the case. There was the way sometimes, when things went backward, that people wished they could go backward again, back to the way it was before it went backward. But things can only go backward once. You can't go home again. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1777, Time Skating. Time froze like a river in a lake, and the people put on their ice skates and skated over time and across time and around the perimeter of time. And some of the people stood in the middle of time and did some very impressive tricks, while others who were less experienced slipped and fell on time and landed on their asses and got bruised. Time can be wonderful to skate on, but one must be careful, especially if one is a novice. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.